Does the phrase, just one more, or that one didn't count, or I'll do it starting tomorrow, sound familiar to you? Well, if you're a human being and not a sentient AI disguised as a human being, it probably does. Behavioral economics is the economics that factors in how humans behave in the real world, so we can use behavioral economics to, well, change our behavior. Let's take a look. Before getting to how behavioral economics can be applied, we should first understand how exactly behavioral economics differs from traditional economic approaches. The key difference is that behavioral economics factors in the psychology of individuals when making decisions, versus traditional economics, which assumes that people are completely rational beings. Which, no. The reason that this is the case, and why economists didn't originally begin to use psychology, is that psychology wasn't really a field of study until after economics came to be recognized. Then, as psychology later gained more of a following and recognition, economists strayed away from using concepts in psychology because they wanted to keep their discipline more scientific, which the idea of including psychology in their work seemed to threaten. Ironically, Adam Smith, referred to as the father of economics for writing The Wealth of Nations, wrote another book called The Theory of Moral Sentiments, which discussed several ideas involving, wait for it, psychology. In fact, for a long time, basically up until the 20th century, when the shift of economics away from psychology occurred, lots of economists, including Adam Smith and Vilfredo Pareto, whose relation to the 80-20 rule I made a video on, which you can check out by clicking this icon right here, discussed the ramifications of psychology on economics. So after years of an on-again, off-again relationship with psychology, economics finally decided to stop playing and commit to psychology. And thus, behavioral economics was born. Behavioral economics is a very wide field, with a lot of different parts to it, but the part we're going to focus on closely in this video is the work of Richard Thaler. Richard Thaler, an economist at the University of Chicago who won the Nobel Prize for Economics in 2017, is called the godfather of behavioral economics, and for good reason. Although I'm not sure how many horse heads he's left lying around, Thaler's work definitely made him worthy of the title. But instead of going into specific detail about everything that he wrote about in his paper, I'll go through some central concepts that can help you in your life by knowing about them. First of all, there's the idea of loss aversion. Loss aversion is the tested idea that we tend to have a greater response to losing something than to gaining something. Basically, if I give you $1,000, you would feel pretty great. But if I took $1,000 away from you, odds are you would be a lot angrier than you would be happy at that gain. Another application of this idea is that we tend to give these things that we own higher value compared to another object owned by someone else, even if it's the exact same thing. So, now that we know this to be true, we can start making more objective judgments when evaluating how products are marketed and prevent ourselves from making really impulsive decisions. For example, businesses will often use language to imply that a product is already ours, or give out free samples or a limited trial of something to leverage this idea. So before you make a rash decision on whether or not you really want to buy something, make sure you think about whether you would buy it otherwise. Next, another idea with similar applications is how self-control plays a part in this decision making. Understanding that often our economic decisions can be influenced by the situation that we're in can also prevent us from doing something irrational. For example, you are much more likely to buy larger amounts of groceries when you're hungry, even though you may be buying for the future or for an event. Being able to recognize irrational influences to these situations, like you buying something you don't need because you just got into an argument with someone or built out stress from another source, allows us to improve our overall happiness and minimize that terrible feeling of buyer's remorse. An interesting note is that buyer's remorse sucks so much and feels so bad because of the previously mentioned idea of loss aversion. One of the biggest ideas, so big that Thaler actually wrote a book centered on it, is the idea of nudges. Nudges in nudge theory are very simple concepts, but they have very powerful ramifications. The basic idea behind nudges is that they influence people to make different decisions, but the actual action itself is just a small push, or a nudge, towards that behavior. For example, apps on your phone might nudge you to go back into them by sending you notifications or emails about different things, or a company might put recommended next to that additional fee, which doesn't really cover a whole lot. But it's this idea of using small changes to alter behavior which can actually be useful for you in your day-to-day life. If you want to start using nudges to improve your behavior or change the way you act, you can set up nudges for yourself, which can help you with your goals. A lot of times, if we just tell ourselves to consistently do something, we'll either forget or we'll not have the motivation to follow through. You can combat this using nudges, though. For example, if you're trying to start studying more, you can set reminders in your phone to study at a certain time every day. Or if you find yourself procrastinating by using social media or playing games, you can move the app somewhere else in your phone where it would take you a little time to find it, or you could post on whatever social media site that it is that you're going to study. That last one also serves the double purpose of using loss aversion because you're now having people thinking that you're studying, so unless you want to seem like a liar, you better crack open those books. And on that idea, you could also set up a system with someone where you both remind each other that you need to study, or something along those lines. There's so many potential examples of things you could do, like draw a frowny face on a post-it note and put that on your TV if you're watching too much TV, putting lots of water bottles around your house to make sure you're drinking water, or just anything along those lines, that it ultimately comes down to you. So, going forward, try to experiment with different things and see what you come up with in terms of nudges or any of the ideas I've talked about in this video. If you come up with, or already have, any fun or interesting ones, leave a comment down below. I'd love to read what you guys come up with. Most of all, though, just remember to stay curious and keep inquiring. Hey guys, my goal here is to provide you with fun educational content that gets you inquiring and learning new things. So if that's something that you want to support, be sure to hit that subscribe button and share this video with all your friends. Also, if you like this video, hit that like button and hit that notification bell if you want to stay updated on when I'll be releasing future episodes. Thanks for watching.